Okay, next topic I'm going to discuss that is related to Mauryan civilization. Okay, so Mauryan civilization, which is in so in that we first will discuss about the Buddhism, and second topic is about the Jainism. Okay, Jainism. So this two Buddhism emerged in the popular that was in the sixth century. That was in the sixth century BC. It is in BCE, and there was a challenge the Varna and Jati system. So they challenged the Varna and Jati system. Okay, they challenged this system, and that was Buddhist tradition was come into the third century of the BCE, and the art and architecture also flourished under the Mauryan dynasty. So there was a art plus architecture. Two things we'll discuss. So during the Mauryan period, there was a stone pillar. First was the stone pillar, and second thing was a rock cut. Rock cut architecture was there, and there was a caves. Caves were there, and the stone pillar were there, and monumental figures like monumental figures and and sculptures. Okay, sculptures were there. So Mauryan pillar, first is the Mauryan pillar. Okay, so Mauryan pillar is a important thing to be discussed. So in Mauryan pillar, there was a constructing the very old, like I'm showing this structure. There is like one animal. He is a lion. Okay, one animal was there, and there is one more thing that is abacus. That is known as abacus, and this is known as a capital. This is known as a capital, and this whole structure is known as a shaft, and this is a pillar, and that is a lion capital pillar. Okay, so what important thing was a modern pillar? First was the crowning of the animal. So crowning of animal, first was crowning of animal, second was a abacus. Abacus was a it was generally square shape or plane shape. It is square or the plane shape, and that is circular or decorated also. Third is capital. So what is capital? So capital is a design appearances of the arched bell or lotus petal is also there. Lotus petals and arch bell. So next is the shaft. Shaft is generally plain and smooth. It is plain and smooth, and the shaft is a piece of stone which is not have base of the blade. From royal court order were inscribed in the surface of shaft. So there was a court orders that is inscribed in the shaft. Okay, so this is all about the Mauryan architecture. Okay, so one more thing is there, like in Mauryan pillars, some important things like they are different from the Archimede pillar. Archimede pillars are different from the Mauryan pillar, and while Mauryan pillar are the rock cut pillar, it displaying the skills. The Archimede pillars are constructed piece of the mason, and stone pillar are erected of the Mauryan Empire with inscription engraved them. So there was the inscriptions are there, is engraved there, and the top portion of the pillar was carved by the capital and bull or lion, elephant, anything there may be. Mauryan pillars are popularly known as a Sarnath pillar. So Sarnath pillar, which is engraved with the lion, and it is carved with the considerable care. Voluminous roaring of the lion is also there. Circular abacus showing the considerable mastery in the sculpture techniques. So there's a mastery in the sculpture techniques also, and they were using the yaksha and the yakshini as a Mauryan art, and that was in a Patna, Vidisha, and the Mathura, and representing the Jaina and the Buddhist monuments. And Didarganj, that was a Yakshini. Didarganj, Didarganj figure, that was in Yakshini figure, and that is a standing figure of the Yakshini holding the whisk. And Mauryan art is some important depiction of the monumental rope cut elephant like Doli and Odisha. So in Doli and Odisha, there was a depiction of the elephants, and that is round shape or linear construction. So in round and the linear, that was the construction of this art. And one of the pinnacle rock cut architecture is from the Barabar Hill. So you can see in the Barabar Hill also. So Barabar Hills was also there, and near there was a Lomas Rishi cave, Sudama cave. Okay, so Lomas Rishi cave and Sudama cave, and Vishwa Jopadi, Vishwa and Jopadi cave. So Lomas Rishi, Sudama and Vishwa Jopadi cave, and Karan Chopad cave, and the Karan Chopad cave. Okay, and other than this, there was a cave is also like Ashoka and Ajivika sect. Ashoka sect and Ajivika sect. They are also using this, and stupa and the vihara. They were using stupa and vihara, and during the Mauryan. So stupa is a hemispherical dome. What is stupa? It is a hemispherical dome. It is a hemispherical dome, and this is Buddha is popularly Buddhism and Jainism. Stupa and vihara are the constructed on the large scale. So Brahminical goats in the sculpture representation, but now larger stupa belongs to the Buddhist religion. So that is in the Berat in the Rajasthan. Okay, and subsequently, second century CE, that is inscription evidences mentioned in this time, and other than this, there was the Pradakshina Path and the Vedika is also there. So stupa is like enclosing circumambulatory path is there, and stupa consists of the cylindrical drum and the circular hermika is also. So I'm making a structure of the stupa. So this is one is structure, and this circum. So there was a chhatra, okay, and there was a yashti, and this is the harmika, and there is a stupa dome. That is the stupa dome, and it is a vedika. This is the vedika, and there is a pradakshina path. Pradakshina path. Okay, and that is the stupa. So there was a Jataka depiction. So Jataka's stories was there. Stories was there, and this is the hence event of life of Buddha, and life of Buddha, life of Buddha associated with the life of Buddha. Events related to the birth. It is related to the birth and renunciation, and the birth, renunciation, enlightenment, enlightenment, and Dhamma Chakra Pravartan, Dhamma Chakra and Pravartan, Dhamma Chakra Pravartan, and Mahaparinirvana, and Nirvana. Okay, Mahaparinirvana. Among this, there was a Chadaka Jatak, Vidura Jatak, Vihara. Vihara is a different kind of structure. So Vihara is a dwelling place of the monks. It is a dwelling place of the monks, and this Vihara are their monks are wandering there, and monks are wandering there during the rainy season. During the rainy season, okay, and that was near the settlement of, and that is a bamboo hut also, build up of the bamboo hut, and one more thing was there, that is the Chaitya. So, Chaitya is a derived from the Sanskrit like Chitta, and hence Chaitya mean the eternal mound built, and it is prayer hall. So, Chaitya is known as a prayer halls, and that is a mound shape. That is mound shape, and it essentially shrine the what if stupa place in the center of the apsidal end. So, this is a structure, and there is a, you can see that is a prayer hall, that is a prayer holes, okay, that is a prayer holes, and there's a pillared lines, and there's a pillared lines, okay, and this is stupa. So stupa is just a ashes of the monks, and entrance is there, and there is a prayer hall, and that is known as the Chaitya. Now this is all about the uh, Mauryan art. Okay, so Mauryan art was a kind of important art. Now second kind of this structure, and that is the post-modern. So post-modern art, post-modern, and this post-modern controlled by the various like Shunga, Kanva, and the Kushana. So that is controlled by the Shungas, and Kanvas and the Kushana, Sunga, Kanva, and the Kushana. And it in second century BCE to second century marked the rise of the main Brahminical sect like Vaishnava and Shiva. And in this, there was some kind of this structure like Barhoop structure. Barhoot structure that was famous in the Madhya Pradesh, and Bodh Gaya that was in Bihar, and Bodh Gaya and that was in Bihar, and Khandagiri, Udaygiri that is in Udaipur. Khandagiri and Udaygiri that is in the Udaipur. Khandagiri like that is in Odisha. Khandagiri and the Udaygiri, and now Mathura that is Uttar Pradesh, and Pavani that was in Maharashtra. Pavani that was in Maharashtra. And Bharut structure, and there's the famous of the Yakshan, Yakshini, availability of the utilized maximum sculptures, and narrative of the depiction of the Jataka story. So Jataka stories are very famous in the Bharut structure. And now next one was the Sachi Stupa. So Sachi Stupa that was according to the World Heritage Movement. Sachi is the oldest structure, and that is built up with the Shoka in the third century or BCE. Okay, and Sachi is the upper as well as lower Pradakshina path, and circumambulatory path was also there. And there was also the Buddhas and the life of the Buddha and the Jataka. Depiction of the postures and naturalistic carving is also there. And the symbol was also like Manushi Buddha, past Buddha, historical narratives of the Buddha, Kushinara, and Kapilavastu visit of the Ashoka. These all was engraved in Sachi Stupa. Next one is Amravati. Next one is Amravati. So see, Amravati is a stupa that was during the Satvahana period. It is Satvahana period, and that was flourished in the second century BCE to third century BCE. And this stupa is a work with the depict event of the Buddha life and the birth story. So there was also the Jatak story plus Buddha life and the Jatak story, and representation of the Buddha, an iconic symbolizing the iconic Buddha figure of the slim blint feature, and there was a figure filled with the dynamic movement, awareness of the dramatic delight, sensuous world, and abundance of the rounded form of the richness is also there. Like now, this school is influenced by the Sri Lanka and the Southeast Asia. So Amravati is school that was influenced by the Sri Lanka and the Southeast Asia and the Southeast Asia. Okay, so this is all about the sculpture of the Amravati. Now, next important art form is Gandhara and the Mathura. Okay, so first was in the Gandhara art, and the second one is a Mathura art. Okay, it is indigenous art. It is totally indigenous, but this is influencing of the Greek and Roman. Greek and Roman influence was in the Gandhara art. Okay, so feature of the Gandhara, that is Hellenistic element. In this, there was a Hellenistic elements was there. There's a certain amount of the heaviness in the figure, and the figure were heavy. So heaviness in the figures. Okay, heaviness in the figures, and the ears elongated ears were there. Okay, and the treatment of the bears linearly outline and sharp, and there was a linearity in the outline of sharp expression of the calmness, and in this there was a calmness was there, and face was enhanced the naturalism was also there. And one more thing, material used is blue gray mica or gray sandstone they were using in this art. Okay, and Gandhara was in the bacteria, and that was imbibed influencing of the Roman Saka, Kushana, and all that. Now Mathura art that is quite indigenously built up, and that was a period of 2nd century to 12th century AD under the patronage of the Kushana. That was also the patronage of Kushana, and it is model line of the Yaksha image, and there was a Yaksha and Yakshini images was also there. So image of the Vaishnava, Sheva. So there was a Vaishnava image, Sheva image, and also the Buddha and Jaina. So all kind of images were there. Image of the Buddha from the Katra Mound, and it is revealing the feature of Mathura. Local sculpture of the Mathura become that tradition spirit part of the northern India, and that was in the Punjab, and that was famous in Punjab also. And it is Koshambi and Sarnath emerged as the important center of the art. So there was a Sarnath and Koshambi. Koshambi. This is the important center of that. Buddha is generally shown the Padmasana, and there is a Padmasana art. Okay, and right hand is the Abhay Mudra, and there is a Abhay Mudra is also there. Padmasana and Abhay Mudra, and Mathura sculpture is period are made of the light volume and the fleshy body. That was the fleshy body and light volume. This is the light volume, and that was heavy like Gandhara. It is light volume. Halo around the Buddha, and halo was also around the Buddha. The structure is very decorated, and geometrical motifs is also there. Geometrical and the motifs are also there, and the carved body delicately carved out the bulges and belly sculpture is also there. So important feature of the Mathura, there was a Sarnath. Okay, and Sarnath is the image of the Buddha belonging to the 5th century BCE. It is museum revealed the feature of the school. Many Buddha images of the Sarnath are the transparent, and the halo around the Buddha is also there. So halo, and that was a transparent, and this period was considerable softness and treatment of the volume sculpture art, and generally represented the attendant figure of the Bodhisattva, Padmapani, Vajrapani. And there was a Padmapani and a Vajrapani and the Bodhisattva and Bodhisattva. Okay, so these all was about the art architecture of the Mauryan time. Now next one is a Takshashila University. Takshashila University. So see, Takshashila University, that is school of Nalanda and Takshashila. Nalanda and Takshashila. So these two school of art were there, and Vikramshila and Vikramshila. Okay, and Vikramshila. So three of the structure were there. Learning of the ancient India, Takshashila perhaps the best known because of the Chanakya, and Chanakya was also read in the Takshashila, and Kautilya was known as a Kautilya, and it is also place of learning of the Mauryan emperor, and Maurya Empire was also learning. So Takshila was considered the amongst the earlier university of the world, and particular college, and there did not seem to have existed purpose of the build lectures, and strategic location was there in the Takshashila, and this is destroyed in the 5th century. Huna was the people who destroyed this university. Takshila school was considered the several monasteries also. Like Buddhist tradition seems believe that Mahayana branch of Buddhism took shape in there. So Mahayana was took shape in the Takshashila, and also Jivaka court physician and the Magad emperor Bimbisara, who was also reading in that, and Prasenjit was also important personality who studied in the Takshashila. So it was a very important university. Now next one is the Buddhist monuments of the South India. So in the South India, there is a lot of Buddhist structure. So in that first one is a okay. So in the South India, lots of Buddhist structure were there. In that first was a figure have a lots of movement body, like Tribanga movement. Okay, Tribanga structure, and composition of the Sachi, and Sachi sculptures is also there, and a dynamic movement, flexible body, and three-dimensional space is also there. So one is cave tradition. So cave tradition was in 2nd century BCE. In that we can discuss about the Ajanta cave and Ellora cave, Elephanta cave, okay, and Baja cave, and Kanheri cave. Okay, so first of all, the Ajanta cave. So Ajanta cave was in the Aurangabad, that was in Maharashtra, and this cave is a 29. All about 29 caves are there in the 5th century of BCE. This was developed, and Chaityan Vihara was also decorated here, and uh, there was a Mauryan Empire cave generally in the group like Satvana period. It was in the Satvahana period. Satvahana period it was developed. Later in the Vakataka period. Vakataka period. Okay, now next feature is they were using the skin color yellow, brown, green color. An image of Padmapani, Vajrapani was they were using, and Veerbhadra sculpture was also there, and Mara Vijaya is a significant sculpture. Mara and Vijaya, that was the significant sculptures there, and enlightenment of the personification is also there. So enlightenment and the personification was also there. Next is the Ellora cave. So Ellora cave was in the Varun we can say the Varun Leni. Okay, Varun Leni. And it is located 100 kilometer of the Ajanta, like Buddhist and Brahminical and Jainism. So Brahminical and Buddhism and Jainism, all three caves are there in the Ellora cave. That is also in the 5th to 11th century and BCE. Okay, and this is Aurangabad near religious Buddhism and the Brahminical caves, and that caves are mostly dedicated to the Shaivism also, Lord Shiva and the Vishnu, and Ravana shaking Mount Kailash and the Kalyan Sundara cave, and uh, different kind of the avatars of the Vishnu that was depicted in this. Next one is a Elephanta cave. Elephanta Cave. Okay, so the Elephanta Cave was located in the Mumbai, near the Mumbai, and this is Buddhist cave and dominated to the Shaivite. So Shaivite faith is also there, and Buddhism also there. Buddhism was also there, and this Ellora sculptures are the show the steadiness and the body with the light and dark effect. And these caves are the Shiva caves, and Trimurti cave is also important in the Elephanta. Rock cut caves are also there. These are the rock cut caves, and in the Maharashtra, but also the Karnataka, mainly the Badami and Ahol. So Badami and the Ahol is the place where these caves were found, and under the patronage of the Chalukya Andhra Pradesh of Tamil Nadu. So this was under the uh, uh, Chalukya. Under the Chalukya dynasty, these caves were found, Elephanta caves. Okay, so these are the important kind of the caves. And other than this, there was a cave tradition in the eastern India. In the eastern India, so in eastern India, the Buddhist caves were there, like Guntupalli. Guntupalli cave, that was a Andhra Pradesh. So Andhra Pradesh, there was a Guntupalli caves were also there, and there was the Guntupalli among the very unique cave structure, and Vihara is also there. And Odisha, near Odisha, there is a Udaygiri. Odisha, there was a Udaygiri cave. Udaygiri cave, okay, and inscription of the Kharvela king who inscribed the Udaygiri cave in the near the vicinity of the Bhubaneswar, and voluminous figure of the Buddha and the Jaina monk was their excellent example of the qualitative carving. Mural tradition in the South India, I will discuss after this. So this all about the cave and Buddha and the Jaina art and architecture. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this lecture, and stay tuned. I will discuss lots of things here, and that will definitely be useful for your further exams.